Georgia is one of my most loyal models from the beginning of time at Rebel. So I've got one mission, and that is to recreate the Playboy mansion for the 21st century. By recreating it, it's going to be a lot more diverse, unlike the old mansion, and focus on, and celebrate everyone regardless of age, gender, sexuality, race, etc. She got famous for going on the Simon Show, and she's also known as Biscuit Tip.
And then Jordan, I've got one for you as well.
Thanks, babe. Bit warm and dry.
Right, Jordan, thanks for coming. Welcome to Ministry of Truth.
No problem, mate.
Appreciate you coming in today. And you've got this thing called Rebel Mansion. Rebel, basically, Rebel everything.
Yeah.
Give us some feeding, what it is, what it's about, how it got started.
Yeah, so I've got one mission, and that is to recreate the Playboy mansion for the 21st century. I started off doing influencer events and parties, which led me into the industry.
Britain's Hugh Hefner.
Britain's Hugh Hefner. That is the goal. I basically, my thoughts behind the whole thing is, when Hugh Hefner died, the purpose of the brand died, and although it's still a big brand, there's a massively sought after for a replacement, and that's what I'm going to do by recreating it for the 21st century. By recreating it, it's going to be a lot more diverse, unlike the old mansion, and focus on, and celebrate everyone regardless of age, gender, sexuality, race, etc.
So how are you going to recreate that?
So basically, I've got many ways. First, obviously, I've got my agency, which we manage multiple models and help them grow on adult subscription platforms and their social media. We're a content creation agency and influencer agency. We've been in the press, from the Sun, the Star, New York Post for the content creation events we've done. Started doing big content events. So, I'd bring all my models down. We'd create content over a 2-day period in a big mansion setup. And that's where kind of the idea kind of spurted off, really, where we got lots of success, people collaborating and working together and networking with each other actually produced much better results than doing it on their own, which a lot of people in the industry used to do.
So you're talking to an old man here. So this is all new for our generation. Obviously, it's getting very popular these days with young people. You're not OnlyFans, are you? But you're working with people who do OnlyFans, is that right?
Yeah, so the best way to describe it is OnlyFans and platforms like FanView, they are platforms, for models to, post content and reach the subscribers. What we do is we help the models directly to grow, managing their daily life, helping them with their accountancy side of it and paying taxes, helping them grow through marketing campaigns and, reaching more people to show their personal brand off.
So it's a bit like being a football agent.
It's like being a talent agent. That's the best way to describe it.
Talent agent.
But we also move into the events segment as well, producing monthly events. We've got a huge idea which we're launching soon, which is to kind of remove the negative stigma of OnlyFans. And, a lot of people think, well, they make loads and loads of money. They don't give anything back. Everyone thinks it's easy money and stuff like that. So what we're going to be doing is climbing Mount Snowdon in swimwear and lingerie, swimwear and bikinis, to raise money for mental health, which is...
What month are you doing that?
We're aiming for July, so it'll be peak summer. Definitely going for the summer climate. It'll still be cold though at the top, but it'll be a challenge for everyone. But also just, bringing that OnlyFans community together to do something positive is something that's not been done before.
Just stepping back there, you just mentioned stigma of OnlyFans and that.
Yeah.
There is stigma. How do you manage to get rid of that stigma for the people who you're managing?
Well, it's difficult. I'm from an area from South Hempsall, close to here, where a lot of people, everyone knows everyone type of communities. So a lot of people who start OnlyFans, and I have got some models that live within these communities. It's quite difficult because everyone knows everyone. If you start an OnlyFans, you're the talk of the village, you're the talk of the town for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you get branded as slag or all these negative connotations about yourself. Which people, it's the social norm to think that. So what Rebel's trying to do is kind of showcase that, these are all human beings. People can do whatever they want with their own bodies, and they should be empowered to do whatever they choose to do and not be, forced into anything that they don't want to. And basically what we're allowing people to do is, empower themselves, and achieve whatever dreams they want. And for a lot of people, OnlyFans is a short-term thing. You can easily make 6 figures in a year or 2 years. You know, by that point, you've got enough for a mortgage, you've got enough for a house, your whole life set up, you can retire at the age of 30. You know, so, and then they might do more positive things. But the way that Rebel's going to kind of remove this stigma is, you know, creating more positive experiences with OnlyFans. All this stuff online is, you know, negative connotations, negative press articles, and that's the way the media wants you to see it at the moment. But actually, you know, a lot of these people, they're just like anyone else. They're just normal human beings. They all have their own mental health problems. They have struggles. They have good days. They have bad days. And, you know, a lot of them do positive things with their life. You know, they've got businesses. They're all, they learn a lot from doing OnlyFans, and it is like having your own business. So a lot of them, I've got some models that now have tanning studios and tanning businesses or fashion brands and stuff like that, which they've learned from the independence of having their own business, you know, through OnlyFans for so long. And obviously as a management, you know, we help them, you know, create and build these skills up to do whatever they want in the future. But to remove the stigma, such as, you know, doing stuff for charity and mental health is one aspect which we're trying to sort out, but also that community side. So I believe that everyone's stronger together. So we're the only agency that initially...
Can I just touch on the mental health side of things?
Yeah, go for
obviously, that is a subject that's really being talked about.
100%.
How are you going to deal with that with the people you're managing?
So initially, and from the start, obviously, myself, I've gone through my own mental health battles. You know, drug addiction and things like that has been a trouble for me. A lot of the models that I've worked with have had issues in that scene due to the kind of nature of the business and the sex and things like that. So we've got in-house mental health team that works with people individually. So, you know, it's not about work a lot of the time. A lot of it could be they might have had a breakup, they might have had, you know, something happen at home, they might have had some problems with the parents. We help them through that. You know, we've got one of our top guys, Nathan, who individually messages and rings all of our models consistently to check on them and see how they are. And he's really become a voice within the company where people feel he's very approachable. So people feel safe to speak to him about any topics regarding sexuality, regarding depression, anxiety, and things like that, which a lot of people experience. So we're one of the only agencies that are trying to tackle that.
So you talk about inclusion and working together. I should imagine, or the image is, there's a lot of bitchiness and backstabbing and stuff like that in a business like this. How do you view that? And do you see much of that, and how do you deal with it?
You know, I think in general, sometimes the industry can be seen as toxic. You know, it is a very social media led business. So influencers and over influencers, things get spread around really fast and stuff like that. But on the grand scheme of things, the community side is great. Like within Rebel, you know, we all get along regardless of age, gender, sexuality, race, etc. You try and meet new friends. Everyone's in the same boat, so you can't really, you know, it's not creating that negativity. You know, so everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's out there to try and make money. So instead of working on your own and, you know, doing it, you work with other people to accelerate your own journey. So you'll piggyback off other people, they'll piggyback off you, and it's kind of a win-win situation where you're stronger together.
Is there any other bits of support you can offer these people? Yeah,
so we've got we were in partnership with a separate company called Accounting for Creators, which we basically help creators deal with their taxes. So a lot of people are quite young. They're making significant amount of money in a short space of time. Obviously, what does every young person do with loads of money? Blow up the wall and don't really think about they have to pay anything. So what we do is really give them the guidance that they need to know they have to pay taxes. This is how you pay taxes. But we also help them reduce the tax bill by, you know, helping them expense things properly, you know, for business purposes only, and, you know, make them save money whilst, you know, making sure the tax man isn't knocking on the door.
So it's a full in-house.
Full in-house, yeah.
Start to finish.
Yeah, yeah. So everyone can be secure that they're paying taxes properly, efficiently, because, you know, there's been a big thing in the past. A lot of people getting investigated through HMRC. With OnlyFans specifically, they've give the legal data of everyone on the platform and give it to HMRC so they can now hold people accountable. For the first few years of its operation, it was quite easy for people to scapegoat taxes and things like that. And now, obviously, the pressure is on. That's why Accounting for Creators came at the right time.
Where do you see it going from here? Well, like, you're at an early stage on this business.
Yeah.
How long have you been going now?
So we've been going since July 2022, actually. Yeah, July 2022, sorry. But the vision for it in the next 5 years is, you know, I want to recreate the Playboy mansion for the 21st century. I've got extensive contacts in America, which is going to help us enable that. And basically, you know, we want to recreate the Playboy brand, call it Rebel. The difference between the two is obviously Playboy bunnies doesn't really look good on a guy. So obviously because our agency is so diverse and we want to accept anyone regardless of age, gender, sexuality, etc. We believe that being a rebel devil is better and more sexier for all genders and everyone included. So that's basically, it is also, in my opinion, much more classy, modern, and more adept for the 21st century that we live in now.
Is it an age-led thing? Is it for young people only, or what's?
No. There's people, regardless of any age. We've got some people in their 40s, 50s, 60s who make considerable amount of money. So the solution to that is, everyone's got a market. There's people who pay, 50-stone women to eat cake in China. So there's a niche for everything. There's a fetish for everything, and through the requests that I've seen over the years and some models have fulfilled, there is definitely some wacky requests out there that you never even thought would be a thing. One of my models got paid $1,000 to fuck an orange, for example.
Wow, that's crazy. Go on then, give us some examples of these, Jordan.
All right, okay. One of them is this guy subscribes to one of our female models who spends $1,000 a month on a bottle of, and the guy, obviously she to a bottle, sends it to him in the post, and he has a shot of it every morning and lets her know that he's had it. He pays $1,000 a month for that.
Is it full of protein or?
I wouldn't know. The way that OnlyFans works is you've got your subscription, you pay to see the feed almost like Facebook, so you can see pictures and videos and things like that. But someone might want something really personalised. Say someone wants to say your name in it, or you want to do a specific fetish or something to cater to their desires and wants. You can pay extra to get the model to do whatever you want, really, for a price.
That comes back to whether you subscribe or pay extra, or
so you have to subscribe. That's the initial thing.
Is it a paid subscription? Or?
It's a paid subscription to support your creator. And then if you want extras and you want certain things, the model, and each model charges differently, depending on the size of who they are or their personal desires and wants for how they value themselves and stuff like that. But basically you can pretty much get whatever you want. I think there's always a price for anything, and most people are up for it. The one things that we don't allow within Rebel, we don't allow any meetups in physical person. Everything is digital based, and we encourage our models to stay that way for their own safety.
You encourage that, but you can't stop it, can you?
Can't stop it, but we encourage it, and we make it very clear of the dangers that can associate with meeting up with people in person. It's a lot more safety digitally, and that's the reason why I think that is one of the positives of these platforms, is it stopped a lot of the physical meetup stuff which used to happen before. Obviously, that still does happen, but with my models, we don't allow anyone that does physical meetups for money.
Is there any way you're keeping an eye on them? You say one of your people phone them and text them and stuff like that. What about actual meetups with them? Are you doing much of that?
Yeah. So we meet with models regularly. We have weekly meetings. We have office days and content days where everyone comes together and helps each other. So yeah, we're a close-knit community. There's no need to do anything else. A lot of my models make considerable amounts of money. They don't need to go down that route, and we'll obviously always give them the best advice possible, and that is to stay safe.
What sort of amounts of money are we talking here?
Anywhere from $5,000 a month to $250,000 a month.
Wow, $250,000.
Yeah, some models make considerable amounts of money. Even on the guy side, some of my guys make in excess of $60,000 a month.
So the guys who are doing it, is it women who's paying for this, or is it other guys?
No.
Is it a gay thing, or what's?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it gay, because there's two segments. So if you're a female model, obviously it's straight guys who subscribe to you. If you're a male model, whether you're gay or straight, or transgender or whatever, your subscribers will tend to be 99.9% men. However, some of them will identify as gay. Some of them will be straight men who were married and in denial about their sexuality, and use this as a way to explore their sexual fantasies under the protection of the digital platform itself. Many cases of married men
subscribing
to the guys, yeah, and girls.
Where does reality cross into fake? In
what sense? Sorry.
Like people are thinking they're talking to someone or viewing someone on there? How much of it is real and how much of it is just total fantasy and fake?
Our models are the ones that chat on the accounts, and basically they determine their own relationship with the subscribers. Usually they will adapt to what everyone wants because they're paying for something. You know, a model, you know, someone might want to be called daddy, so you know, the model will call them daddy. You know, some people have got specific fetishes and desires and want to be treated in a certain way. And usually the models will, you know, adhere to that, you know, obviously as they're paying money.
So you've actually brought one of your models with you today, Jordan.
I have indeed. She's the Queen of Rebel. This
Hello,
is Georgia
guys.
Pridding, aka Biscuit Tits.
Biscuits, yeah. So I'm basically part of the Rebel family and I get nude for a living.
You get nude for a living?
Yep.
So Jordan's just introduced you as Biscuit. What's that about?
So I went on a Sidemen video not long ago on YouTube that's got like in excess of like 4 million views, and it's only been up there for like 6 months. And yeah, it's basically like a new concept dating show sort of thing, where you go on dates with quite high profile people. In this case, it was Angry Ginge and Danny Aaron's. I just wanted to do something different, so I whipped some chocolate digestives out my boobs.
So just for our viewers' point of view, who don't know who these people are, who's Angry Ginge and who's the other one you said?
Danny Aaron. So I think they started on a platform called TikTok, which is very popular at the minute, but they kind of do streaming videos and like gaming online, and they've just created a big platform.
But the Sidemen show is KSI. It's KSI's platform. It's probably the biggest, if not the biggest channel in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah.
Say that again, Jordan. Sorry,
they've got about 20 odd million followers on YouTube. So it's one of the biggest channels from the UK. But KSI, which everyone should know, in one form.
Been involved with the boxing?
Yeah. That he's been involved with the boxing.
They've also opened new restaurants.
He owns Misfits Boxing.
So you went on a date with these guys, is that what you're saying? Oh.
Yeah, well, all the cameras were there, obviously, but yeah, it was kind of like a date scenario, getting to know each other. And yeah, I just whipped some digestives out.
So what was the lead up to this whipping your digestives out?
So
was there any tea involved?
No, there's no tea, but it was essentially like 3 rounds. So the first round was kind of like a Tinder in real life. It was like a swipe left or right, and the men could decide whether they wanted to continue things with the girl. And then the second round is all of the girls that had been selected are in a big group, and they can decide whether to stay or leave. And then if they decide to stay, they get put through to like the dating round, essentially, where there's like 2 chairs and you get to go on a date with them. And
so is that a real date? You go out to a restaurant or whatever?
No. So it's all filmed in like a studio, essentially. So yeah, it's all done in the studio.
And you got picked and went through to the dating round?
I did. Yeah.
And how many was that? Just the 2 of you, or?
Yeah, it was just, so I got to choose between either Danny Aaron's or Angry Ginge, but...
Which one did you choose?
I chose Angry Ginge because he's from Manchester, so...
And so did you plan to pull these biscuits out, or is that just off the cuff something that happened?
I mean, so I was backstage and... I mean, it was a really good day. The set was amazing, but the one thing, they didn't feed us. Like, they didn't have any food there from like 7 a.m. to like
that's tight,
6 p.m. Yeah, so it was a long day, and I'm a foodie. I was really hungry, so I seen a pack of digestives, and I was just looking at it like, what could I do? So I had a big top on, and I was like looking down, so I just put 2 in there, but the chocolate went everywhere because they were chocolate digestives.
Great marketing stunt, from that perspective, and I think from that, obviously the video itself has got 16 million views on YouTube.
16 million?
Yeah, 16 million in 4 months. On top of that, the amount of shorts and reshares that have been done are, out of this world. So probably a hell of a lot more than that. From the back of it, I think Georgia made 3,000 paid subscribers in the 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah,
and pulled in
just skyrocketed. Really, it was just crazy. Because everyone had obviously seen these little clips that were being made online. And then obviously I mentioned there that I do OnlyFans. So everyone went over to my site and Yeah, 3,000 new subscribers in like 48 hours. And the majority of them were repaid subscribers as well. So
Yeah.
that was crazy.
And how much did you make that month, Georgia?
I think it was like 30,000.
Just through pulling some digestive biscuits out.
Yeah, well, the majority of it, I think 90% of my earnings was because of the biscuits, the dreaded biscuits.
Yeah, it was warm apparently.
Yeah.
And my favourite biscuits, actually. So, what's your favourite biscuits, Jordan?
My favourite biscuits, I don't like them all. I quite like digestives, not gonna lie.
I think custard creams are underrated.
I think they're overrated.
Do you? I love a custard.
Yeah, I'm not a custard cream fan. I don't like basic bullshit biscuits anymore.
So maybe you've got a stunt lined up for custard creams then?
Yeah, maybe. I might do the new McVitties and McTitties.
Custom.
Don't know whether that would be allowed, but
Custard
maybe
cream
a
pie.
little rebrand. Yeah.
How does that fit in with your rebel image?
Any the rebel image is all about marketing. Anything that gets people out there and makes a big impact is something that we're always looking to do.
Is there parts where you draw a line and say, no, we're not having that?
We've had many press ideas come to us from external agencies who offered some pretty fucked up press campaigns, to get big attention, but we decided not to.
So you're saying you're doing events. What sort of events are you doing or have done? Or
So we've done a mixture of events. I'm diversifying that portfolio at the moment. Initially just started off as content creation events. So we'd rent, like a nice townhouse in Manchester. We'd all go down. And basically what would happen is we'd have a schedule. Every 30 minutes you go into a different room, we blow a whistle, and you create different content in different rooms. So basically, and change clothes, so you can get a month's worth of content in a day. Then it started advancing to the social media spectrum instead of just doing the X-rated stuff. And we wanted to, obviously because all the models together, someone might be bigger on TikTok, someone might be bigger on Twitter, someone might be bigger on Instagram. So put them together, help each other out. Everyone wins, that's basically. So we started doing social media days, started evolving. So we'd rent obviously much bigger mansions. We'd have, supercars, outside. We'd have fireworks, which meant I spent $2,000 on one firework, which created a 2-minute apocalypse in the sky, didn't it? Which was great. It's all about kind of creating that community side of it, making content, making money, and having fun along the way.
when you do these events, do you find people become friends through it? And
yeah, I suppose like any friendship or business relationship where, you have to go networking with your team. Yeah, I guess they're all on the same team. It's like...
We've got quite a good friendship, haven't we?
Yeah, me and George's friendship's, amazing. Even from the first time we met, we clicked.
Yeah.
And at the time, Georgia didn't want management. She didn't trust anyone in management. And, eventually I built that trust with you, didn't I?
Definitely. Friends for life.
Friends for life.
and you feel that's worked for you, Georgia? And
yeah, definitely. I think obviously it was a massive risk for me to jump from doing it by myself to having a management. But I think overall it's not just a management. Like Jordan said, there's a mental health counsellor. There's lots of people to advise you on the right steps to take. And I feel like when you're doing it by yourself, you can get a little bit I'd say lost within your own thoughts. Yeah, and lonely as well. And there's a lot of mental health issues, especially if you're doing it all by yourself. So I feel like having someone there, even to just support you in any direction that you want to take, is really important. Yeah,
I think a lot of the time when you do it on your own, you say you are from a small community, everyone knows you do OnlyFans, everyone's calling you slag, everyone's calling you this, everyone's calling you that, and all that negativity, because you never focus on the positivity when you're getting hated on. And it is a really bad thing, the trolls online, the hatred from communities because of the stigma of the subject that they do. I think a lot of it is jealousy. Obviously, how's
all hate is stemmed from jealousy.
Yeah, exactly. Some people work really hard, go to uni, have spent 5 years in uni to get a 30 grand a year job, and these can make 30 grand a month just by using, themselves.
it's definitely going to create jealousy, isn't it? If
100%.
people see you earning that type of money at such a young age.
And then they're seeing him with loads of hot guys, hot girls, they're surrounding, they are on the outside, it looks like the perfect life, doesn't it? Obviously it comes with loads of challenges, it's up and down. It's like with any business, it can be volatile. You have good months, bad months. You can go through hard times. Family might fall out of it. There's lots of things that can go wrong. But I feel like if you're on your own dealing with that, it's a really dangerous place to be in, where we create that infrastructure around them to help them support through, we don't just help people get famous and make more money, we also help them deal with it, manage the money, invest, spend the money wisely, help them deal with hate. And then also, because we're one big community all doing the same thing, it's like, fuck you to everyone else. We're all on the same team. If you've got a problem with one, you've got a problem with all of us.
Interesting thing you said there, Jordan, invest. Over the years, we've had pop stars, footballers, you name it, everybody in the music industry who have made a lot of money over the years. And we've seen where that's gone over the years. It's gone a lot of people. It's gone down suicides, overdoses, you name it. We've seen it all within these industries because people can't stand the pressure. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of pressure in this. One of the things is a lot of people, and it's happened in all them entertainment industries where people have just blown their money, whether it be on drugs or gambling or whatever. So it's good that you're putting an infrastructure in there to help them with that. But on the investment side, how are you advising them to invest for the future? Because like you said earlier, it is a short window. Some of these young girls, when they get a bit older, they're not going to want to do this no longer. So they want to either have something else to step into, or how do you advise them on that, or to invest the money that they're making now?
So at first we ask people what they actually want out of this. Some people love the industry so much they don't plan on getting out of it and they just adapt. Like someone like Belle, who's my friend, she'll just rebrand herself as a MILF when she gets to that age. When she gets kids and stuff, she's so into the industry. She's always wanting to do it. She always will do it. That's her type. Some other people have got different preferences. Some people just want to get in, get money out quickly, and then start on new business advice. So we have an individual strategy with every single person and find out what they actually want, and then we build a plan around them that suits them. So they might say, "Yeah, I want to make some quick cash and I want to get out soon." So we'll plan an exit plan for them. Just like with any business. I want to make 250 grand in 12 months or 18 months. We help them achieve that, and then we help them, get property investment, obviously. So we're in collaboration with a property company, a property investment company that helps them invest into properties. Obviously, we've accounted for creators, Aidan, Spence, and the other accountants. They basically will help you manage your money, but on top of that, invest in the right places, stocks, shares, financial wealth management, and things like that, and investment coaching. So we help them on all angles, and then also from my front, all my models can ring me up at any time for business ideas, helping me, using my help to, give a feasibility study on some of their ideas and stuff like that. So I'm always more than happy to help anyone in any direction they want to go in, So the ethos of Rebel is we want to follow people around for their whole journey, their whole life journey, wherever that might be. And that's why we want to, in the end result, create a community and infrastructure that, we can adapt to whatever they want and follow them on that journey.
One of the problems I see is if you're used to earning such vast amounts of money and then suddenly you want to get out of that, you've got to keep up that type of lifestyle, which can be very difficult. So
I've been through that myself. I've had a company that was valued at 15 million quid, lost everything. I had to start from scratch. So I know that feeling of losing everything. And, in the space of 1 week, I think I lost 8-year relationship, my dog, my house, and my business, and 15 million quid in the space of a week. I had to move back to my mum's house and start from scratch. And that was 2 years ago. I've built all this since then. But, them first initial 3 months of what I went through, that pain, man, it's tough. I was suicidal, wanting to kill myself was a daily thing, crying every day. You just feel like there's no hope. But then what I learned from that experience is, there's actually nothing better than rock bottom, because you learn more about yourself and what your mistakes and reflection were than you ever did before. And actually what I did learn myself is I've done it once, I can do it again. That mentality. So
not that you want to do it again.
No, as in I can make the money again, make a new business that makes money. So everything you learn is learning is more valuable than succeeding. The problem is with success is if you get lucky and one trick pony and it goes really well for so much time, you don't actually learn anything from it. I only learn the hard way, and unfortunately, sometimes it slaps you in the face quite hard. But I don't regret any of that experience, to be honest. I actually embrace it, and it's helped me become what I am today. And I'm going to make this business and brand bigger and better than ever before.
That's good. That's interesting. What about you, Georgia? Where do you see yourself going? In this business, but also after?
Yeah, I'd say I started 2-3 years ago. And when I first started, I was getting all this money and I just had no idea what I was going to do with it. But yeah, I think Jordan and Rebel gave me a lot of sort of direction and different options. I didn't know where my head was at the start. So,
Holidays.
Yeah, holidays, lots of just spending random money on clothes, things I didn't need. But I still have fun, but I think for me, I kind of do have a sort of exit plan. I mean, I love doing it. Like, I'm enjoying it for the meantime, but I mean, when I have kids and a husband in the future, maybe, I can't see that. So I'm thinking of getting into like property investment and stuff. And Jordan's organised a lot of meetings for me and helped me out a lot in that sense. So yeah.
And with the budgeting I buy from Accounting for Creators as well, a lot of it is, right, say you're making 10 grand a month, right, you can put 2 grand away. How much you need to live, how much you need to, and putting the rest into your future, really. So, what I've learned from businesses, nothing is set, anything can change at any point. Obviously, when, you guys all know as well from when COVID hit, my marketing company at the time collapsed. Everyone started cancelling contracts. So sometimes it can be you that's destroyed it. Sometimes it's the environment or whatever's happened, politics, etc. And big changes. So it's really important to, have a plan B. And what we help them do is have that plan B turn into a plan A when they're ready.
You mentioned politics there, Jordan.
Yeah.
Something that's interesting to me. Obviously, I'm interested in politics. Our podcast is the Ministry of Truth, which is current affairs. We do deal, current affairs obviously involves politics. We get this image that's created through the media or whatever that a lot of young people just aren't bothered in politics or interested in it. Or the other thing we get is they all lean one way, which is to the left. How do people, yourself and people within your industry, does politics crop up? Does it get talked about?
Well, I personally love politics and I love having debates and conversations about it. I think a lot of the models probably have views on different things, and I think they'll be all in different areas of the spectrum. But I think mainly they're more focused on what they're doing right now. But I'd say as a whole, as a country as a whole, I'd say I think what's happening is on the social media world, which is the one that's fueling all this political stuff at the moment, is the left wing is taking priority because they can say whatever they want. But in the right wing side, your voice has been taken from you because everything's seen as right. That's, you can't say that. You can't say that. Even a lot of people think you can't support Donald Trump or you can't support Nigel Farage or things like that. And that's because, the stigma in the mass media is against it. It's a difficult topic, but I feel like right wing their voice has been taken away more so than the left. And I think that's the reason you see more people on the left engaging with politics. But I think people on the right, well, it's proven. Think how many people voted for Donald Trump. Think how many people chose Nigel Farage's party back in the EU referendum. So it does show they're voting there. They're just more silent.
Does politics affect your industry and what you're doing?
No, I wouldn't say it has yet. Obviously, politics, government regulations and things like that, that is something that's changing rapidly.
What about things like, there's a lot of talk at the moment, there has been over the last year or so, this online safety bill. How do you see that could affect you? Because they're saying online safety bill is to keep everybody safe and everything you're doing is online, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's online. I'm not really sure how that'll impact. I'm not really sure of the exact things that will include. Do you know what it includes?
It's a way of censoring people.
Yeah,
and that's why I just feel like it could impact on your industry.
Yeah, 100%. Well, already, on the social media front, it's getting much harder to promote OnlyFans, even through the mass media, with the Google regulation that's came through about adult content in the media. It's becoming more restricted in a industry which, gave people back the power. You can do whatever the fuck you want with your own body, and you've got them rights to choose whatever you choose to do in your own life. So, it's making that much harder. Probably in some cases, very right reasons. So obviously the explicit side, shouldn't be on social media for younger people to see. However, it shouldn't be scrutinizing people who are in that industry.
How much a crossover is there within your industry of like different people? Like you've got your LGBT and all that that's going off, who seem to scream at everybody for anything they say. Is that feeding into your industry, or is it? How do you see that?
I'm all about diversity at Rebel. So I want people from all walks of life to participate and be part of the agency. And that's because in the world where there should be less hate and there should be more supporting people. But I feel like everyone should just accept everyone for who they are, and focus on their own lives. Let people get along with their own lives without any hate crime or anything like that. 100%. But just like the Jehovah's Witnesses of knocking on your door, trying to shove things on you, I don't agree with that.
That's interesting, that, because do you feel, from a young person's perspective, do most people feel that same way? Because it almost feels like it's the minority, it's the vocal minority who's just ruling everybody's lives these days.
Yeah, I think it's much bigger than that. I think it's a political thing that's going on. I think there's something at the top of the chain, which is fueling and giving money to these specific organisations that are out there to shove things down people's throats. I think the general average person that I meet on a daily basis, are completely supportive of anyone if they decide to be gay, if they're trans, whatever, just as long as it's not forced upon their lives. If I've got a trans friend and friends, I've got gay friends, I've got straight friends, I've got people of every ethnicity and diversity, and they're all cool as fuck. But all of my friends don't push things down people's throats. It's just like, I'm happy with who you are, they're happy with I am. Everyone lives in harmony, everyone lives happy. But there's no kind of, you must be like this, or you're a bad person because you don't do this, or etc.
I think what it bottles down to as well is, as long as like people aren't hurting anyone physically, if they want to live the type of life they want to live, then they're going to do it anyway. If they're not hurting anyone, I don't really see it.
I'm more focused on my family's life, my friend's life, everyone, and the people that I care about. Why do I care about what someone that I don't know's life chooses to do with their life? I don't want them shoving things down my throat and forcing me to...
keep yourself to yourself, sort of thing, and just carry on with your life in silence. Not in silence, but you know what I mean. Not shoving it down people's throat.
What kind of reception have you had from friends and family? What, first you, Jordan?
On the OnlyFans perspective?
Yeah, by doing what you're doing and being involved in this industry.
Well, I think my mum and dad are proud.
Have they always been? Have they accepted it from the beginning? Or
yeah, they've accepted me for who I am from the beginning. Obviously I came up I grew up in a very, at the time was quite a homophobic, area, just because it was, where I'm from. I never had access to that diversity side of things, but when I went to university, that's when I met people from all walks of life, and I realised, fucking hell, like, everyone's sound. Everyone's their own right. But yeah, mum and dad are proud of what I do. Realistically, what I'm doing, it's a business, it's making money, and it's something I'm passionate about. I wake up every day, I enjoy what I do. I work with people I enjoy spending time with. I'm helping them change their lives. I've took people from zero, from council estates into 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 grand a month, completely changed their lives, and that makes me feel good.
So you say you grew up in a homophobic area. Am I right? I saw something when I was doing a bit of research on your Rebel stuff.
Yeah.
You're now openly gay.
Yeah.
And do you feel like that has helped you or hindered you within this industry?
So at first, because I never came out till I was 21 years old because of the dynamics of where I was living, it was because you've got some gay people who prefer hanging around with girls and things like that. I was more of a lad's lad. I like boxing. I like, all my mates were guys, like going out drinking, lads' nights out, Magaluf, all that type of stuff, all for me. So I wasn't the stereotypical guy. So I found it really hard to come out, and because I thought my reputation would be at risk due to people's thoughts and stuff. When I came out at university, when I was around more diverse people, no one gave a fuck, and it was the best decision I made. The reason for that is, one, my own happiness, and I can be who I was. I can identify as myself and stuff like that. But also in this business, it's empowered me because, you know, with this industry, you know, if I was a straight guy right now, you know, I'd get branded like you're Andrew Tate and stuff like that. Whereas because I'm gay and I've got girls on my roster,
you're never going to win either way, are you?
No.
No matter what you'd like or what you don't like.
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion on you, regardless if you're gay, straight, transgender.
Yeah, but on the business point of view,
so do you feel the girls within the industry trust you a bit more because you're
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
But
so you mentioned Andrew Tate. What's your thoughts on people like that? I mean, I've seen a lot of Andrew Tate stuff. I've seen people write stuff about him, but to be honest, in my opinion, he hasn't really said a lot different to what I hear most people in the pub or whatever speaking.
Yeah. It's because, you know, he's voiced his opinion, and he's got it to a large scale. So people wanted to censor him. I think even to this day, I think on TikTok he is, and even his name gets flagged up. So, you know, if you post anything about him, you get restricted on views and stuff like that. And I think, you know, this is meant to be a, you know, democratic nation, man. It's not anymore. There's no free speech. It's basically free speech as long as you don't say this or this or this or this or this. So it's basically just, you know, putting people into a corner saying, this is what you can say, this is what you can't say. So is it even democratic anymore? I don't believe so.
What about you, Georgia? Have you found things with your family and your friends? How have they accepted what you do or not accepted?
I mean, my friends are amazing and they love what I do and they always support me. I don't really talk to majority of my family for like other reasons, but my mum and dad, I think, I mean, with my dad, I'm always going to be his little girl, so he knows about it, but it's something that we don't like really talk about, I'd say.
Is that from your point of view, or is it him who doesn't want to talk about it?
I mean, it's just something that's never mentioned, really. I mean, it is sometimes, but like we'll never have a proper talk about it. But my mum, on the other hand, I think the main thing for my mum, I think she wouldn't support what I was doing if she hadn't seen the difference in me, because I used to be so like within my shell and so shy, and I literally wouldn't talk to anyone. But I feel like it's just given me an opportunity to just be more myself, and I'd say I've grew a lot in confidence as well through doing it. You kind of got to if you're looking at pictures and videos of yourself every day. But the way my mum describes it is like I'm a little peacock and I kind of flap out my feathers and put on a show sort of thing. Well, not a show. I think it's more of like an extension of myself, I'd like to say. So yeah, my mum loves it now. I mean, she's probably like my biggest fan. So yeah.
Not your only fan.
Not literally.
Not my only fan.
Not literally.
No, my biggest fan, like my biggest supporter, I'd say, yeah.
You've had some pretty weird
Mum.
requests over the time, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I had one guy once want to come to my front door and like give me money. I think it was more of a submissive thing, but he also offered to clean my house. I didn't accept it. I mean, it would have been good, but like Jordan said,
He offered to clean your house?
Yeah, he offered to clean my house and then pay me. So
yeah, I think the one fetish I have learned during this process is something called Findom. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Say that again. What is it?
Findom. Financial domination. In my opinion, if you're on the reverse side of it, it's probably the worst fetish to have, because you enjoy and get sexual pleasure from your bank account getting rinsed by someone else. So they would literally spend every penny they've got.
It's a bit like being married.
Literally. Yeah. So yeah, there's that aspect of it, which is pretty crazy. Like some people like will spend every single penny they've got. They'll bet everything. They'll sell their car to get this sexual pleasure from their bank account getting rinsed. I prefer the other side, you know, bank account increasing.
And that's a real thing. That's really happening.
That is really, really common. It's probably one of the most common.
yeah,
common
I think
things.
like top spenders, especially on OnlyFans, most of them are into Findom.
What's the most you've been tipped, George? I don't think
600 or something for a custom.
You got 450 yesterday, the other day, didn't you?
Yeah.
For a what? What's a custom?
So a custom is basically, I mean, most creators do it, but there's a lot that don't as well. But it's where your subscriber will message you and kind of ask for a custom video.
The best way to describe it is, have you heard of Cameo?
Yeah.
No.
So it's basically like a celebrity video message platform where you can get a celebrity to do a video message for you.
Yeah, they do it like for birthday messages and stuff
Yeah,
like
so
that.
imagine kind of an X-rated version of that where it's like, right, well, Georgia, do you want to explain your 450 quid custom, which is quite... So for $450, Georgia just had to do this.
Yeah, so there was this one guy called Elliot, and he requested 2 custom videos for like $225 each. And it was basically exactly the same video. But it was just, he wanted me to wear clothes, like he didn't want me nude in the first video. And it was kind of just saying, hey, and telling him how much I wanted. And then the second video was...
same thing, but with your back
Same
out.
thing, but just topless. So he paid $450.
For about
that.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was like a minute long in total, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Elliot, if you're watching this video, get in touch. We can get you some stuff. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, what other stuff? What other type of stuff have you had? That's mental.
I've had a lot of people with toilet kinks, so they'll want to see me go for it or the other one. But there's a lot of things as well that is censored on the site. So there's some things that you can't do, including toilet things and content in outside, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't do content outside. With OnlyFans, it's more of an emotional experience. So it's not just that you fancy this person. You might like really fancy that person, like fall in love with them, for example. So we give, Georgia will give the perfect girlfriend experience to everyone, so it's kind of like your own virtual
like
girlfriend
morning
or boyfriend.
messages, how are you? And most people as well have found that it's not just like it's not like majority of people, even more so than just the sexual side. They just want someone to talk to.
Yeah, they're
and
lonely,
they're just
for example.
lonely. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of like
Positive side to it as well. Yeah.
So, do you never feel like you're taking advantage of people by doing this?
No, because I feel like I build such a special connection with my subscribers as well. I get to know them and what they like, and asking them how they are every day. I kind of, as well, build a bit of a connection with them. So, no, I don't think I'm taking advantage of them. The money's a bonus, but...
If it wasn't sent to you, it'd be sent to someone else.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and, she delivers good value for what people pay. So, it takes her time to do these, personal requests. For example, they might ask, well, what happened? Someone bought you some lingerie, didn't they, the other day? Yeah. Someone bought her some lingerie. They want a video with wearing it, so they'll pay for the lingerie and pay to send a video wearing it. So to time to finding the right lingerie and stuff like everything takes more time than you think to do. But one of my models, Zach, he's launched his cloner cock thing, and it's went really big, went viral, got in the papers for it and everything.
Was this a thing, or is this something he's launched?
So it was an idea created by Rebel, which we're rolling out to the roster, because it's kind of creates that intimate experience, where it's like it creates that intimate experience. So unlike, like I mentioned with Pornhub, very transactional, this is where people want to, they're obsessed over that person, so they want to see and feel that and be as close to that person as possible. Oh, and Georgia, do you want to tell Dennis about what you did in a Trafford Centre?
Oh yeah, so following on from my biscuit video that went viral, we got a pack of digestives, and there's like a shopping centre in Manchester called Trafford Centre, and I basically went around hiding chocolate digestives and giving them to random members of the public.
From a bra?
Yeah, from my bra.
And that was all filmed and...
Yeah, it was all filmed. We got like little miniature microphones, giving people interviews, asking them what the favourite biscuit is. So yeah, it was good.
And how did that go down with people in a shopping centre?
With the people, they're a bit like stunned, but I think they enjoyed it. But eventually we had a woman come up to us.
It's like a treasure hunt for fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got stopped because we didn't have a permit to film, but I mean, we just thought it was a bit of fun.
We got it all done though, didn't we?
Yeah, we got it all done eventually.
Got it all done. But yeah, it's it's been a good experience working with Georgia on all my models, and we come up with creative marketing campaigns, ideas, press. But Georgia's been in the press multiple times. She won 500,000 at she won Queen of the Rebel Agency, and we're going to LA together soon, aren't we? So yeah, we do a lot of things to kind of create that connection between the models and work together as a team and do fun things together.
You mentioned earlier you'd just been out in Serbia. Was that part of Rebel?
Yeah. So that was a work trip. We're meeting some models, some high tier celebrity models from Serbia who are singers, with millions of followers. And basically we're just, advancing Rebel to the world, really. So not just Serbia and Europe, but, also America and, soon to be Asia as well.
Worldwide.
Models. Worldwide, baby. Worldwide. But that's the goal, really, is...
Rebel World.
Yeah, Rebel World. The Rebel brand's gone from strength to strength. We're launching the Rebel lingerie soon. We've got the podcast, which I've launched as well, which I've done that with, pretty high tier influencers and models such as Bella Olivia, Sophia, Georgia's cameoed, Bevo, M.R. We've got Mashtag Grady coming on and Hussein. We've got a big lineup for it as well. So with Rebel, it's not just a management company. We're a lot bigger than that. We're a multifaceted brand, and, our goal is to recreate the Playboy
and in the works clothing line.
In the works clothing line, Rebel Lingerie, which we're launching. We're the main sponsor of the world's largest sex expo, which is going to be the NEC in Birmingham. So I'll be speaking in front of 6,000 people talking about sex, which will be quite funny. And we've also been nominated for Content Creation Agency of the Year at the UK Glamour Awards as well. So that's all to look forward in September. We're doing a big influencer event in August in collaboration with FanView. And that's going to be 10 stories high in Manchester. And we're going to have oil wrestling, boxing, live artists, DJs, literally 10 stories high on a car park. And basically, all the skyscrapers in Manchester look down on it. People will be in their bedrooms like, what the fuck's going on there? It's just going to be an influencer event, networking, red carpet, VIP, have a bit of fun and stuff like that. Yeah, so the oil wrestling will be great content for
this will be with your models, etc., or will it be people from all over the place?
This will be a more large-scale event, so obviously all the models will be invited 100%, but on top of that, we'll be inviting influencers and OnlyFans models from all over the world to attend this event, but there's only 300 spots. So we're having quite a high caliber of people attending, and the goal is to create version 2 of what I did originally, which was called Tsunami, into something which has got a more honed in niche, and also create an event that's never been done before, that's got the spotlight on it, and we'll create Rebel and put FanView on the map even further.
Can we get an exclusive on this before it starts?
VIP tickets, mate. VIP tickets for you, Dennis.
So you say you're going to do a bit of mud wrestling, boxing?
Yeah, DJs.
100%. Will these be famous DJs?
They will. So what we'll probably do is stick to the niche of influencers. So there'll be big DJs on TikTok or things like that have created a big impact. Could be rappers, for instance. I'm looking at possibly getting Casper on, the Irish guy, M.R. A lot of people within my network as well who can perform and create this into a rooftop party event that everyone's always wanted. I used to do them in mansion setups. I wanted to do something different this time, something that's really central city, something that can create a big impact. I want to get projectors in the sky, fireworks, everything, just make this the most sought after event of the year. Something that people will remember for years to come. The first event we did, even with Mashtag Grady's new video, talks about the tsunami party. It's something which created a big impact, in a short space of time. And this one will be even bigger with a much bigger budget.
And this is in August?
This is in August. The date is not confirmed yet. It's going to be late August or the first week of September.
Are you likely to have any major sponsors for that?
So the way that we've done it this time round is we've obviously got the main sponsor, which is FanView, which is OnlyFans' biggest competitor. Obviously Rebel will heavily there. We are potentially looking at other sponsors, but realistically, the goal of the event is to promote us. So we are technically the sponsors and organising our own event rather than, extending it to other people. However, if there's some other brands which work in tandem with, what we're doing. It could be an alcohol brand. Then yeah, we'll be looking for open-minded to people joining that front. On my first event that I did with Tsunami, we got some pretty big names to sponsor it, like Love Island, Red Bull, just to name a few.
At the beginning of this podcast, we talked about the Hugh Hefner and how he brought the Playboy mansion into the mainstream and become acceptable, really. How do you see Rebel bringing this to be more acceptable and not just part of the sex industry? And
yeah, so it wouldn't just be around sexuality; it'd be around lifestyle, if anything, and basically, creating all the positives, which is bringing people together who are in a similar industry, working together, having fun, having parties, having events, networking, and everything in between. But yeah, I'd say the main piece is like what I mentioned earlier, which is diversity. Back then, stereotypically, it was the Playboy was old rich men, young blonde women. That was the stereotype. Not necessarily the truth, though. They were big supporters of LGBT and many things, but a lot of people don't see that. What we'll be putting a massive emphasis on is diversity. We want to attract people from any age, gender, sexuality, race, and everything in between, because we don't care about the way people choose to live their lives. We just want them to achieve their dreams and make money, have fun along the way.
You mentioned race there. Do you find with this stuff, is there any breakdown with race?
Yeah,
within that, or is
I think ultimately it is predominantly white people that are on OnlyFans. It's a lot. There is a lot of minorities in this. I'd say black creators are much. There's much less black creators than white creators. So we want to change that up and make it inclusive to everyone. So we put a lot of emphasis on accepting anyone for who they are. To make it feel like they can join a family.
And is that something that's growing?
Yeah, 100%. The male market of OnlyFans is growing quite a lot. There are more black creators, which is good. And there's more people of, different sexualities, joining the agencies such as transgender, et cetera, et cetera.
How does it cross over into your everyday life, from the reality to the fantasy, if you like?
So do you mean like how does...
Well, how people view you, how do you split what you're doing? Because it is a business.
Yeah.
You're doing it as a business.
Yeah.
So how do you split that up from your everyday business to your everyday life, your actual life?
To be honest, my everyday life is this. I wake up every day. It's a 24/7 business. We've got clients in America. We've got clients in Eastern Europe. We've got clients in Asia. So this is a 24/7 operation. It's very hard to...
When you say clients, are you talking about influencers or?
Our creators, yeah.
Creators?
Yeah. So, it's a 24/7 business. I don't really take much time off at all. It's my whole lifestyle is based around this and, me achieving that one goal, and that is to recreate the Playboy mansion for the 21st century.
And what about, from your point of view, Georgia, how do you separate this from what you're doing to your normal life, if you like?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people in general just have like kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on, like with the whole OnlyFans thing. But as much as I love my work and what I do, I feel like there's definitely a like difference between them both. Like, I mean, my personal life and my work life are different, and I think majority of people could say that as well. Like, even if you had like a so-called normal job, like a lot of people, I don't know, that work in nursing, let's say, they won't come home and then continue what they were doing at work. I feel like it's important as well to have that kind of differentiation between them both.
Yeah, but I think because I've got ADHD, so I get addicted to things. Obviously, at first it was the negative connotations with the drugs and things like that, and I think the reason I slipped into that was because of it being a 24/7 business, so there was no space to take time off. So you kind of just wanted to escape reality sometimes, and just get out of it for a little bit without the stress, responsibilities, getting messages at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. So that was a good thing. But now, obviously with business and ADHD, it's quite a positive thing for me. I think it makes me more creative, gives me better ideas, and also think outside the box. but also I'm addicted to business. So even now, I've completely integrated the business into my life. So even when I go to a normal event or, you know, go out with friends and stuff, it's normally the topic of conversation. A lot of people are interested in it. Most, and I'd say 99% of people that I know are very fucking proud of what I'm doing and, you know, think it's great, you know, especially the lads in a lot of cases. You know, they think it's cool as fuck. Yeah, it's a difficult industry to be in because of that 24/7, you know, impact it's got on you. But you know, moving that negative addiction to a positive addiction is great, and that's why I'm putting a lot of emphasis on, you know, solving the mental health crisis within the industry and solving the drug addiction crisis in the industry, because it is filled with parties and, you know, money and lifestyle and disposable income. So, you know, once you get your first 30 grand, you want to go to Ibiza, you want to go to Magaluf, you want to party in Manchester or London and go to all the premium bars and restaurants and all that type of stuff. So it quickly becomes quite a party-led lifestyle, and you can get sucked into it quite fast, me included, at one point. So obviously I'm away from that now, I'm drug-free, yeah, I'm focused on, you know, helping other people get out of that situation and making this industry better and more, you know, and there's no regulations or anything in this industry whatsoever. So, you know, it's giving people lots of money, and a lot of them don't know how to spend it, and a lot of people will spend it on partying, drugs, holidays, that type of stuff. So that's why we advise them with our accounting service to manage the money better, invest, spend the money more wisely. 2, create events that are, you know, positive, such as the mountain climb that we've got set up to climb Snowdon. So won't involve drugs or alcohol or anything like that. It's all going to be for a positive impact, you know, to try and change the stigma, because they're all up for it. You know, we all want to raise money for mental health, and it resonates with everyone individually as well. Everyone's suffered in one way or another. I'd say it is, in a way, a damaged industry in that sense. You know, everyone struggles. So that's why we're building this community, to help people get through these problems that they've got, have people that they can speak to who are in their same situation, because a lot of people who don't do OnlyFans or aren't in the industry can't relate. You know, they can't be empathetic, because it's a completely new experience. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not a, you know, 9 to 5, you go home, you go to bed, you know, you do your normal stuff, you know, you've no homework or stuff like that. With OnlyFans, even for the creator, it's a 24/7 job. So yeah, we're putting a lot of emphasis on, you know, getting people out of addiction, which will be in the forefront of my, you know, company values, ethos and mission, and also mental health. That means a lot to me, because I've gone through a lot myself.
So you say that it's a 24/7 job. Is there any crossover with people like Georgia mentioned with normal jobs? Like you mentioned, you could be a nurse. Are you getting people like that who have got everyday normal jobs who are still doing this part-time?
Yeah, a lot of people. So one of my models, that Blackman, he was in the Royal Navy. So he was he worked for the...
Is this the guy who got sacked from the Navy? Or?
Yeah, he got sacked from the Navy. So basically...
I read about that.
Yeah. It's in the Sun. It's all over. So basically what happened to him is he was doing OnlyFans on the side.
Is he one of your creators now?
Yes. Yeah, Zach Blackman is one of our creators, yeah. So we took him from making nothing to 35 to 40 grand a month quite rapidly. He's now got a Porsche. He lives in a penthouse in Manchester, and his whole life has changed, you know, in the space of a year, from a salary which was roughly, 1,500, 200, 2 grand a month, you know, to making that a lot more than that, even in a few days.
I do remember reading about that lad.
He makes more than his teachers at school in a month than they do in a year.
Wow.
He's 12 times their income. Never going to get that in the Navy.
Because he got a lot of stick for what he did.
Yeah.
Did he take some photos on a ship or something?
Yeah. So he got caught. He got caught doing OnlyFans whilst in the Navy. So he was obviously creating content and things like that. And then I think his story was he got rang by a lieutenant or his officer whilst he was in Portsmouth, told him to go to Scotland. So he drove an 8-hour journey, get on the aircraft carrier just for the lieutenant to sit on the table with him, drop some paper on the table saying, "Who's this Big Z?" Big Z is his porn name, should we call it, or of alter ego. And basically, they kicked him out the Navy. You know, stripped him of all of his pride, and you know, he's then put full effort into OnlyFans. So he was doing it part time. He was doing the job and stuff, but now did it full time, and within 6, 7, 8 months, transformed his life to a making 35, 40 grand a month. And same with Georgia, she's made considerable numbers in her best month, about 30 grand. We've got models, I've had some other male models who have gone from 0 to 45 grand in their first month. It's crazy, how much money it can be made and how much it can transform your life in a short space of time. And that does make me feel good because, regardless of what people think about what they're doing, you've been able to, and this doesn't come easy. I think a lot of people think this. It's not easy work. It's not easy work, this. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. This takes massive graft, daily marketing, daily connection with your fans. It's a big job, especially when you get a lot of subscribers. It's really hard for Georgia to manage them. The reason we don't help with the chatting is we want to give that authentic experience. We want to make sure that every subscriber is speaking directly to the model. And that's just something that our ethos is. We help them more on a creative side. So we'll, help with the filming, and we'll help with the events, and we'll help with the marketing to promote and stuff like that. But Georgia and the other models, they directly speak to all the subscribers themselves.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like a lot different to any other agencies or management that's out there, because a lot of them have these chatters that maybe don't understand lingo that you use or anything like that, and it just doesn't come across as authentic and you. And then the subscriber is paying probably maybe the subscription and more every month to not talk to the actual person that they've subscribed to. So
how do you see things going with AI?
AI is scarily good in this industry. There's a lot of talk at the moment about AI models, and people, I think I saw an article about an AI model making 70,000 a month as a virtual girlfriend.
So who's actually making that money? It's just someone who's creating content.
So they say that 50% of money generated through OnlyFans by 2026 will be a man with an AI girl. So as in the man has created the female.
Could that work the other way?
Yeah, 100%. The girl could make the guy. But
I don't just think it's detrimental to OnlyFans though. I think I've seen a lot of like them little robots that like help deliver food and stuff, and I feel like technology's just
so you've got AI in two ways. Even with the FanView platform, for example, they use AI not to replicate the models, but you're able to for instance, Georgia might have thousands of subscribers. It does get hard for her to keep up with it all the time. So they use AI to basically, you send one voice note, and then you can send, with the model using their voice, and then the AI can pick that up and create any voice note that they want from it. So it kind of speeds. It's kind of more of a helper than a replacement to the model, which I think is good. But there is the other side of it where lots of AI models are being created and completely managed by men.
Yeah, I'd say it's like very detrimental to the industry that we're in. Like, I don't personally agree with it. I mean, it's such a personal thing, like having someone that's subscribed to you and wants that sort of relationship with you. And if it's a robot, and half the time they look so real that I don't think half of people out there know that they fake, which is the scariest thing.
But like you said, AI is taking over the whole world. Yeah. In every aspect, it's not just this industry; it's pretty much every industry. So everyone's at risk.
People are losing jobs through it. Like, people that are out there that need money are just losing out.
So I asked you, Jordan, what you really see as success for you. Yeah. What's success for you as a creator? What is your ultimate success?
Yeah, I'd say health, wealth and happiness. I've always said that. Money's not everything, but it certainly does help.
A little helps.
Yeah. So yeah, I think success as well, like, comes from within. Like, I don't know, if you're a different person in a positive way than you were 2 years ago, to me that's success, and I can definitely vouch for that myself. So I'd say I'm definitely proud of how far I've come with it all. So I think I'm successful, but I think it's different to everyone.
Everyone's got their own personal milestones and things like that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, some people want to strive for the million. Some people are content, with what they've got. So it just depends on person to person, really.
They say what something goes on the internet, it never goes away. It's there somewhere in the cloud or whatever. Do you ever worry about that in your future life when you meet somebody to get married, when you have kids and stuff that you might have done in your past gets dragged up? How do you view that? How does it?
Lucky I'm gay, but yeah. For me personally, no. I think I'm creating a revolution in the industry, which is positive, and I truly believe in it. In the changes that I want to make, and I think there was a lot of positives to the Playboy Mansion. And it's it turned into a high-end luxury brand, which I want to replicate, but improve and adapt to the 21st century. But yeah, what's yours?
I think for me, this is something that I always think of. Like I like to live in the present, and I feel like if you are concerned about the future and you worry too much about your past, that's what causes a lot of anxiety. So yeah, I don't like to think too much in the future because we never know what could happen. Like with my life as well, I didn't know that I'd be doing this. So life can change a lot. So you can't worry too much, I don't think, because then you're just putting pressure on yourself.
How did you first start doing it, Georgia?
So I used to do live streams on TikTok quite a lot. And one person said, like, have you ever thought about doing OnlyFans or have you got one? I didn't know what it was at the time, so I just done my research, but then found out that people can make a lot of money from it. And, like, don't get me wrong, I haven't grew up in poverty, but I haven't also come from the bestest of backgrounds financially. So I think I kind of just looked at it as, like, an easy way of making money at the start, and I feel like if I can help those that are like closest to me, even if it's financially or whatever they may need, and I can just provide that so easily, it brings me happiness. So
from here, what's your next stepping stone after this, you think?
I mean, like I said, I don't like to worry too much or focus on what's going on in the future because that just causes stress. But like I said, I'd love to get into like property investment. I think that's something that I'm interested in and I've been thinking about a lot. But I mean, as long as I'm happy right now, just take each day as it comes, and yeah.
Happiness comes first.
Happiness comes first, 100%. Yeah.
My ultimate goal is to have a global brand, global company that makes significant change. And, I love business, always have done. I've always had a purpose, and this is my purpose right now. It's creating a brand which everyone will recognize. I've made good traction so far, all based on my own funding. And now, the next stage for me is taking it to that next level.
Do you ever get any problems with people recreating your social media accounts, or?
You mean like copycatting?
Yeah.
100%. All of our so the advantage we've got over our competition is a lot of agencies are really underground. They're not really public, in the public eye. And a lot of the time it's because they're, cowboy kind of businesses. So I'd say the advantage we've got is we're the only front facing brand, out of all of them. The press marketing campaigns that I've got are second to none. But yeah, we've stood out in comparison to any other competitor by a long shot. There's an actual brand being created. Everyone else has not got a brand. They've just got an agency. It's not something that can be recognised. Rebel's gone viral many times. People. I remember one of my models, Zach, mentioned that he went into of all places, a fish shop, not a chippy, like an aquarium shop. And the guy went, "I'm sure I've seen you on TikTok, and you went to this content house." So like Rebel content houses do go far and wide. People love them. Everyone talks about it because it's completely different, and it's the people that we attract. Obviously, is a trending topic online.
Do you get anybody trying to recreate your
yeah,
content?
so I've had in the past I've had a lot of fake Instagrams made of me. It'll be a different name, but people will like use my photos and pictures from my personal profile. But you just got to block them and get rid of them.
Can that be damaging? Obviously, it can be damaging to your image, but can it be damaging financially or?
I don't think I've necessarily had anything in the work sense of things, but no, I wouldn't say damaging, really. Not to sound cocky, but I feel like once you have a good social media platform and you've got quite a lot of followers and people know that's authentic and that's you, whereas compared to if someone was to take your pictures and create a fake Instagram and they have 30 or 20 followers, it's clear, isn't it?
Usually what creators have to do now is say, these are my accounts on their main profile and everything else is a scam profile. However, they do put the actual link on there, don't they, a lot of the time? So probably could get subscribers.
How big? I mean, obviously, this industry is big at the moment.
Worth about 5.6 billion.
5.6 billion?
Yeah.
That's worldwide?
Yeah.
How big do you think that can grow?
This industry.
Sex sells.
Sex sells. It always has sold, and it always will sell. You know, I think even back in the Stone Age, people were trading rocks for people. You know, back then, and now it's, you know, the industry is just never going to die. It's just going to continue to grow. It spiraled out of, you know, to massive growth due to lockdown. That was because everyone was stuck in. You know, connections were diminishing. How do you find a connection? OnlyFans was the solution to it.
And that goes back to a lot of subscribers even just wanting a regular chat from day to day, like especially with COVID and people feeling so lonely. I feel like it can definitely like positively impact like subscribers.
Yeah, and it's not all about money. So like, you know, we're not just Georgia's not going in there and charging everyone for everything. You know, she'll have genuine conversations with people. You know, as long as they're not, you know, taking the piss out of her and, you know, just trying to get everything for free. You know, she'll have long conversations with them. She'll make relationships with these people. You know, this is something you can't get on Pornhub. You know, Pornhub, like I mentioned, is very transactional. You have a wank, you're done. With this, it's a relationship built wank.
It's something that, like, I feel like is a thing that the subscriber and the creator can relate to as well, because in this industry, not a lot of people want to get to know you or, I don't know, want to be friends with you. So it can get very lonely. So that's also a sort of connection that the subscriber and the creator can have, is, you know, having them times where you feel alone and you just need somebody to talk to. So it's definitely a common ground, I think. And
on my last podcast, I think, because I asked the question to Belle, Olivia and Sophia, I said, what is the difference between, you know, is it true that OnlyFans models are selling their bodies? And Belle's response to it was great. And she basically went, well, a builder sells himself to a building site. So, you know, basically, that basically, you know, creates that connotation that, you know, everyone does their own thing and selling themselves in their own way. But this is a completely safe digital way of doing it.
Yeah, I think to touch on that as well, like a lot of people say, oh, you're selling your body, but I feel like people that go for regular 9-to-5s are selling their time. I think time is the most valuable thing a person has, and they're basically selling that to whoever for, 8 hours a day? 8 hours of your time a day, like...
Yeah, and regarding the sex thing, I think Belle or Sophia's response was to this was it was about the sex side. You know, she was like, well, you have sex people, but you know, you have sex with people for free. You know, we just get paid for it. And obviously, the thing is with the collaboration side, you're not meeting a random person. You know, you're meeting someone that you actually find attractive and want to collaborate with.
How many weirdos do you get in this industry?
Oh, you get probably more because it's on a more mass scale. However, you've got a massive safety blanket through, you know, the digital era, you know. So there's no way that... Yeah, there's a simple block, but people can say nasty things if they want. You know, that's it. They can't physically hurt you or anything like that.
Have you ever come across where people have tried to look you up and find you type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've had like a lot of people that I would have considered a friend, like... kind of go behind my back and try and get content for free and all of that stuff. It's quite hurtful, but you just got to remove those people out of your life and carry on.
Where does the brand go from here, Jordan?
The brand goes global, and my vision for it is I'm going to be creating can't say too much. I'm trying to create physical locations around the world that people can travel the world and make content wherever they are. That's the next goal for it. And also take the brand, and take it to America. That's the main thing.
How big is it in America?
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
95% of all money made on OnlyFans is made in America. It's a British company, OnlyFans. British made company. But everything's done in dollars. The reason for that is the mass market is America. UK market's growing, but it's not even on a scale. Obviously, we've done bits in the UK, but now it's time to take this to America, blow the fuck up. That's the goal.
What about countries like Far East, Japan, China? Is it a thing there yet, or?
It is still a thing there. It's a thing absolutely globally. It's taking the world by storm.
So do you see expanding into them markets?
I'd say the markets where it's not present is your Dubai. It's kind of present in terms of the OnlyFans models will visit there, but you can't. Religion is probably the biggest stopping factor to a lot of this. One of my models that I don't work with anymore, but she was called. She's the biggest Bangladeshi porn star in the world, and basically, she religious and stuff like that's quite controversial.
She have a lot of comeback on that because of her
religion. She will have had a lot of comeback from that. She gets quite a lot, but she's so out there. She's on the the very very XXXX rated scale. It's took over the world by storm. It's an industry in every country. I'd say obviously the biggest market's still the US. It's still Europe as well. However, it is Canada, Australia, a lot of English speaking countries are where most of the highest earners are at the moment. However, it is taking the whole world by storm. And over the next few years, you'll see it in every country and the biggest models everywhere, really.
Georgia, why should people subscribe to you as opposed to other creators?
I think I offer a very diverse range of content, from customs and very fetish friendly as well. So, yeah, there's no stigma attached to that with me. And yeah, I think I do things wholeheartedly as well. I put everything into what I do, and that to customs and messages, like even the smallest minute things is always done with the most effort.
And you, Jordan, why should the creators go to you as opposed to the others?
Because we are every other one of my competitors are just a management company or an agency. They've got no vision. They've got no direction. I'm taking this brand on a whole new level. Every single week, new opportunities emerge that benefit all my subscribers. I've got the podcast launch as well, where we've got some of the biggest creators in the world jumping on it, which can help promote our models. We've got so much more. We've got Rebel Lingerie launching. We've got Rebel House. We've got content days that no one can compete with in the terms of the way that we execute them. We've got the largest community, and we're really transparent. So a lot of agencies keep all the models away from each other because they don't like them speaking to each other, which I think is really isolating. And this is because some models will be on ridiculous percentages, like 60%, 65, 70, I've seen in some cases, even 80% they'll take. But imagine, you've got someone on 80%, someone on 60, someone on 40, someone on 20. You put them all in the same room, have a beer, what happens? Everyone talks, the business destroys. With us at Rebel, we've got two packages. You've got the standard and the premium, and you just pick whichever one you want. But with this company, in comparison to anyone else, you're joining a journey, man. Like, you're going to be on this expedition with me to recreate the Playboy mansion for the 21st century.
The best journey.
The best journey. And you're going to be on the center point, and part of this mission, and, reap the rewards with us as well.
Do you meet any interesting or famous people through doing this?
Yeah, lots of interesting people, even from my last business. I know lots of DC B-listers. I know a hell of a lot of high-tier social media influencers and models. I'm a true believer that your network is your net worth. That's my strong point in life, is building connections with the right people at the right time. Yeah, I've met, been at the Oscars, which was pretty cool. I've met some of the biggest influencers. I've created my own events and parties, which attracts these people. And I'm very well cemented into the industry to give people the opportunities that are going to grow them.
So do you want to chuck anything out before we finish, Jordan, on anybody who's watching this who would want to get in touch with you for any advice or
check it out
or whatever?
So our Instagram handle is @RebelAgencyOfficial. If you want to check the podcast out, check out @RebelDevelsPod. And if you want to drop me a message or an email, to go on our website, www.rebelagency.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming in. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Georgia.
us. Thank you.
Thank you. If you could give any advice to the next guest that comes on our show, what would it be?
Play hard, work harder, and I said it the right way around.